Hello everyone, welcome to Optimal Training Group. Just here with another video. So as you all know, in my last video I was talking about studying for the PL200, which is the Power, I forget what the exact term is, but it was a Power Apps Consultant certification. And one of the things that I really hadn't really delved into was the Dataverse. I've always done all my applications with using SharePoint to list as a backend, and so I'm learning Dataverse. I think in my last video I talked about, I'm going to be creating a travel request approval application, and I talked about these tables that I created. And one of the things I just learned is, so I've created my form. This would be my travel request form. I have a save as draft, submit for approval, and a cancel button. So I'm working on the save as draft, and in the on select property of this save as draft button, I have this. And it took me like an hour or so to try to figure this out because, in the SharePoint list, this is a choice column. And in the SharePoint list, it's going to be, brackets and then value : draft, because when they click on this button, I wanted to store the word draft in that column. But in this choice column of the Dataverse, it's different, and it took me a while. I was trying to figure out how do I, it gave me an error when I tried to do it the SharePoint list way, as if, and so I was trying to figure it out. So I went to if you go to my column, here's my column. This is the travel request column. Travel request table. And if I go to the columns, and I have this column here called current stage. And let me scroll down here. And this is the value of the current stage of, where it's at in the approve. So amended, approve, awaiting department head, director, finance, supervisor, draft, rejected. So I wanted to, when they click on save as draft, I wanted this value to be there. Now, when you create a column, a choice column in Dataverse, it's different, right? So this stage value is sort of like another, is what kind of holds these values. And let me show you by creating an example. So let's say I wanted to create another choice column. So I come up here in my table, columns, click on new column. Let's say I give it a name. I'm just going to call it test, or I don't know, let's say flavors. And the data type will be choice. And then, all this stays the same. But down here, I need to sync this choice with some data. And as you can see, when I do this, these are some of the choices that exist by default in the Dataverse system. So you can hook your choice up if to match some of these. The one that I created for, where is it? Stage value. This is what I created for that stage column that I was showing you. So if there isn't a column here, these values here that you can sync, you can connect your column, your choice column to, you can create your own. And the way you would do that is you click on new choice, and then you come over here and you give it flavors. You can say ice cream flavors. And then you go ahead and, you can say blueberry, strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, whatever. And so this ice cream flavors, I'm not going to save it, but this ice cream flavors will appear here. Once you save it, on the ice cream flavors, it'll appear here when you click this, and it'll have ice cream flavors in here. And that's where all your choices would appear, blueberry, strawberry, vanilla, chocolate. And that's what you would sync here. You would choose ice cream flavors and it'll appear here. Now going back to my application, so what I would have is flavors and ice cream flavors dot strawberry or dot blueberry or dot chocolate. And that's how you would assign one of those values to the column. I hope that makes sense. So it took me It took me like an hour and a half to figure that out. I was kind of going online. Even ChatGPT couldn't even help me. I forgot where I found it. I think I found a solution. I was on some site, and that's kind of where I found it. So yeah, I hope that helps. I'll continue to share little tidbits that I learned about the Dataverse and just about my certification in general. So I hope that made sense. Thanks for watching. Bye.